Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse Measure. If you haven't done so yet, hit that guy on the lotus pedal down below and subscribe to benefit, as I am, from all these incredible questions from viewers like you. And I hope you will send me a question or a comment and tell me what's going on with your songwriting process so we can tackle it together and we can all benefit from your struggle and we can learn all together. That's the point of this channel, is so that we all get better at songwriting and get connected with the life-affirming aspects of songwriting and how it's a spiritual practice, and reclaim that from religion or all the the dogma of that, and just embrace our own experience and to celebrate it through song. That's what all this is about, I think. And speaking of, I had this great question from Austin, Texas, one of the great music towns in the world. I love Austin and its music scene. Aaron Delgado writes, I've noticed that the songs I write when I'm feeling something intense tend to be better than the ones I write when things are calm. Does songwriting require emotional turmoil, or is there a way to write meaningful songs when life is relatively peaceful? Very, very good question. Is life ever really relatively peaceful? I hope you have little calms among the tumult. I've noticed that whenever I am heartbroken, pissed off, having any kind of intense emotion, extreme regret, intense love, gratitude, all those things, I tend to just have songs pour out of me. Those are great, great times. And so that's the silver lining of when you're going through really shitty times or really emotionally charged times, is that you're going to be inspired and you're going to write all kinds of music. And to take advantage of that when those times happen, you go, man, I am fucking distraught. My life sucks right now. I'm so heartbroken. I'm so upset. But I should really use this right now. And it's going to make you feel better because you're going to express it and you're going to become a little bit more objective about it. And you're going to feel like this wasn't all for naught. I don't need to go jump off a bridge. Instead, I can write a beautiful bridge and get a new perspective from that. So, there's two sides to this answer, which is, I think better material comes when people are going through an intense time, but you can generate a lot of incomplete songs or just ideas during that time and then finish them later when you are in calmer periods. So the flip side of this is that, okay, during calm times, does that mean you're not going to be able to write anything? No, because you can well up those old feelings. And this is the practice of performing your songs too, that is very, very important, is to be like a method actor. And I talked about this when I talked about George Jones quite a while ago in a video about emoting and bringing that into not just the performance, which is absolutely important. As my friend Follow said, and I quote her in that video, in order for the audience to feel it 10%, you have to feel it 200%. So you well up these experiences by using the methods of Stanislavski, where you're taking past experiences and you're bringing them into your mind and your consciousness so that you almost like you're feeling them again, like you're experiencing them like they're happening now. So you can, even during calm times, you can bring in, I can sing about the time that my mom died, or when I had this horrible breakup, or when my friend, betrayed me. It's not like you can't feel that again. It may not be as intense, but I think you can get to a pretty intense level if you let yourself go there and really, really feel it. And it probably means that, you haven't fully healed from it, and it's still a wound and it's still a trauma in your life. So if it's coming up, it's time to address it. So why not benefit the world with a beautiful song or an intense song that deals with it, as well as heal yourself in the process in some way, if that's even possible. Well, heal yourself a little bit. So I think, the calm, the Strom and, I can't speak the German, the Strom and Drom, from the, what Goethe talked about with the Tales of Young Werther. So all that intense stuff that we kind of romanticize, as the artist doing, the songwriter, up until, the wee hours of the morning, pulling out their hair and struggling with the extreme anguish and pain of what they're going through. And they have such intense emotions. Think about Beethoven as the kind of archetype of this. Yeah, that's great. But you can also write great songs when you're calm because you can remember that, or you can emote that, or you can even fake that to bring it into your songs and still write great material. I'm still thinking that maybe the material is a little bit better when you're going through these hard times. But of course, we don't want to wish hard times on ourselves or anyone else. So don't do that. But when they do happen, you have this silver lining. You go, oh, yeah, I'm fucking miserable right now, but probably I'm going to write some pretty interesting stuff right now. So, and it's really a salve during those times. I definitely benefited. When I was going through an really intense time, my roommate attempted suicide. My girlfriend at the time just broke up with me in a really kind of vicious way out of the blue. And then my mom died, and this all happened within 3 months. And I was just a horrible time. And not to mention that, I was just freaking out, confronting my own mortality, was sure that I was going to die in a plane crash that year, just having nightmares about that and just obsessing about it. I think a lot of it was that I was with my collaborator at the time, had some very strong marijuana, which was making me very, very paranoid and existential. And so I wrote this whole body of songs, which became the album Thank God. And I think that's some of my strongest material I've ever written, because I was going through such intense stuff. And I really was feeling what I was saying. So it wasn't like I had to go kind of searching for lines and metaphors and things like that. They were just in my face at all times. The feelings were so intense, and the imagery of, the experience with my roommate and the experience with my girlfriend and how much I missed her too, missed her physically and missed her emotionally. And of course, my mother dying all of a sudden, tragically at a very young age, have a massive heart attack. So all these things just fueled so much fodder for these songs. And it really saved me to write those songs, and really helped me a lot to get through that horrible, horrible time in my life, and to have something to show for it too. So if you're going through a really terrible time, pull out that guitar, get to the piano, sing about it, let it out. And I think, even if you don't have the discipline at the time, or you don't have the bandwidth to handle, honing these into songs, get these things down. And then when you do come to a calm period, you can go back to them. And when enough time has passed, and you're not going to spiral out of control again and become an emotional wreck again, but you have enough distance from it, and you can look at it objectively, and also look at it from the craft of songwriting. And then you have the best of both worlds. You have this wafy teenager that is, killing himself because he fell madly in love with somebody who he saw once. You have that intense emotion, that great romantic imagery. I'm talking about the Trials of Young Werther. If you have not read that book, you should read it. I'll put a link to it down below. So you have that paired with the wise, crafty, aesthetically minded poet who's going to take all that intense emotion and craft it in a way that can actually be communicated, that it doesn't sound like somebody just whining and moaning and being self-indulgent, that you can actually craft it into something really good and a master song. So use those both. Use the calmness, and use the intense despair, and the ebb and flow of life. That's what it is all about. So use both of those. Both are necessary, I think, for making great music. All right, that's a mouthful and a heartful and a mindful. So we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much, Aaron. If I didn't address any of your concerns, put them down below. And please comment and let me know what your thoughts are on this as we discuss it. All right. Well, best of luck with your calm times, with your extremely sad times, with your intense times. And know that your spiritual practice and your songwriting are there to be this life preserver for you and to help you cope with that. As Allen Ginsberg said, what's the work? To ease the pain of living. The rest, drunk and dumb show. All right, with that, best of luck. I'll see you next time.